A local judge has ruled that California's FAIR Plan has violated state insurance law in how it handles smoke damage claims from January's wildfires.
Yeah, on your side's Christine Lazar has reported extensively on this issue and joins us now to break down what this ruling means for fire survivors and all homeowners in California. Christine.
Sheba and Rachel, a judge ruled yesterday that the FAIR Plan is providing less coverage than required by law by forcing homeowners to prove that smoke damage has created permanent physical change to their property or their belongings and be detectable without lab testing. I'm joined now by insurance expert Karl Susman. And Karl, you and I have talked extensively about this issue. We both kind of saw this coming. But what does this mean for people who are in active kind of disputes with the FAIR Plan for their smoke damage in the Eaton and Palisades fire areas?
Well, at this point, now they have not only regulations behind them, but they have the power of the law. And they don't just have the Department of Insurance. They have a lot of attorneys that are watching this now very carefully. So anyone that has any type of smoke damage claim, whether it be new, old, open, pending, they should reach out to FAIR Plan again and have them reevaluate based on this ruling.
And you said you already have your own clients who you know would be impacted by this ruling, and you plan to just contact the FAIR Plan and say, hey, reopen this?
We're going to contact each client and let them know, because believe it or not everyone follows it as much as I do, and tell them that, look, there's been a change. We need to reopen this claim. Even if you've been paid something, we need to go back to the FAIR Plan and say, please reevaluate this, and let's see what other dollars we can get.
Now, you mentioned the Department of Insurance has been very clear all along saying, hey, FAIR Plan, you're violating state law, but the FAIR Plan just kind of seemed to thumb their nose at it. So do you think this will be different having a ruling, and do you think it will be enforced?
Well, we know it's different already because the FAIR Plan has miraculously put out a statement and said, yes, I think we'll change our language in the policy now. So they're already making that change. And I think that now that it's been decided by a court, it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to just ignore it or pretend that's not the regulations. And again, they have all of these attorneys out there representing people. They're not going to be able to just give it the back of their hand at this point.
Okay, so regulators say they found 418 violations with FAIR Plan smoke damage claims, and the Department of Insurance then told me in a statement, I want to pull that up, the department is actively investigating the FAIR Plan's handling of smoke damage claims, including from the Los Angeles wildfires. The department aims to resolve consumers' complaints and help people get back on their feet as they recover their lives. This ruling strongly supports our efforts. So do you think that this will help people who maybe haven't even been able to get back into their homes because they just simply don't have the money to clean it themselves?
This is going to help absolutely everybody that has coverage with the California FAIR Plan, because they now have the ability to go and request coverage for something that we had seen pretty systematically was being declined by the FAIR Plan when it shouldn't have been.
So what about the fallout? Is there a fallout from this that impacts more than just those people with smoke damage claims?
Well, I think what we're going to see is now FAIR Plan is being held to the same standard that all of the individual insurance companies are being held to, which is good. The problem is now that FAIR Plan is going to be acknowledging and paying these claims, whenever you start paying for something you didn't pay for before, that's going to impact premiums. So now I'm sure FAIR Plan will come around and say, well, now that we have to pay for this and we weren't paying for it before, it's going to impact premiums. So I think we'll be seeing premium increases coming from FAIR Plan now that they're going to be paying for an additional coverage.
So they're just going to pass the cost along to us?
They're going to pass it along as an additional coverage now that they're going to be paying for smoke damage in a way that they didn't before, regardless of if they should have been or not. They're going to claim that now we're spending dollars that we weren't